So, Joe, it's great to be on the same side of the camera, I guess, as you. Usually, when helping you with things on the show, we're both interviewing the same guests. But now I have the pleasure of getting to interview you for this story. So, you've hosted this wildly successful podcast way longer than I've been around, helping you out recently. What are some of the things that you have felt contributed to the success of making it such a valuable show?
Consistency, number one. I mean, doing it daily for almost 1,000 days in a row, that definitely contributes towards the success. And then having a built-in referral network within the show, because when I interview someone, they then want to share it out with their audience, and that brings in more and more listeners. And they're really targeted, relevant listeners, because I'm interviewing guests who appeal to my audience. Therefore, those guests most likely have friends who are in my audience, because you are the circle that you keep. So it's highly targeted and consistently delivering results.
That is really impressive. And I think, your background certainly as an ad executive, I'm sure helped you in attracting sponsors. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I think in this story, we're featuring a lot of people who have had success, like yourself, in actually leveraging their podcast as a successful tool in their business. But a lot of people I talk to, and a lot of people in business who have tried to launch a podcast, have this sort of opposite experience, where it does just become this soul-sucking obsession that doesn't make them any money, but takes up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how to make money from it. I mean, ultimately, when I first got started, I was not making any money, obviously, from the podcast, and I ended up partnering with the with my editor, and I said, in exchange for you promoting or for you editing my episodes, I will promote your services to my audience. And he said, you know what, I'll test it out for 3 months. And we did. And those 3 months gave me the time period to ramp up my audience size. And then once I got my audience size to a certain level, at the end of 3 months, coincidentally, there was someone who I previously interviewed who saw results from being interviewed on the show. And he said, I would like to sponsor you for the next month. And that was $2,500 for a month. This was 3 years ago. And since then, it's gone up from 2,500 to the last sponsor. I'm 11 months booked out with sponsors, and it's $8,500 a month as of now.
That is so impressive. And I think that really goes to show, you have to start small and be aggressive. And that growth that you've had has been tremendous. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think one reason that people come back and listen to your show is that you really do offer value. So the consistency is there, not only with just showing up every day, but then you also show up and deliver them something that they are grateful that they've invested their time into to listen to. Because really, it is an investment in time on the listener's part too.
Yeah, the mantra that I have with the show is it's no fluff, because we're doing it daily. We have 20 to 25 minute long episodes, and that's not a lot of time to get into insightful stuff if you're talking about things that aren't relevant to real estate investing or real estate investors. So at the beginning of every episode, I say we don't get into any fluffy stuff. We talk about things that matter and that directly tie to the bottom line for real estate investors.
And at the end of the day, on top of providing value to your listening audience, how does this show help you? Because podcasting this is just sort of one source of business for you. But how has the podcast contributed to your overall business model and what you do as a real estate investor?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. The primary way I make money is I buy apartment communities with investors, high net worth individuals, and we partner on those deals. My company has over $132 million worth of real estate, all apartment communities. And what the podcast allows me to do is be positioned as a thought leader in the real estate investing space, and to let others get to know me better, faster. And having a presence online and on iTunes and wherever else, that allows people to Google search me, learn about me, and really feel like they know me prior to us having a conversation. And that builds a lot of social credibility, and then ultimately it helps us get to know each other better in a faster way once we get introduced.
Absolutely. I think the relationship building is huge. And you have had some amazing guests on the show, Barbara Corcoran, among, so many others. Who have been your favorite episode guests so far? And who are some of the maybe bucket list celebrities, influencers, thought leaders that you would love to have as guests on the show?
Yeah, I'd say the investors who are currently doing real estate investing and achieving at a high level, which are my guests, those are my favorites. So I don't have a favorite episode because I enjoy learning from every individual investors achieving at a high level, because regardless of if I'm doing that particular type of investing, for example, say mobile home trailer parks, I don't invest in mobile home trailer parks, but I can get insights from an investor who is investing in mobile home trailer parks and apply it to what I invest in, which is apartment communities. And Barbara Corcoran, you mentioned her. She was a fun interview. She gave us her best real estate investing advice ever, along with some fun stories that she talks about how she builds her team and how she got one of her most successful salespeople. She recruited her while flying on a plane, and seeing how she interacted. She was a flight attendant, the salesperson, seeing how the flight attendant interacted with other passengers when there's an issue. And Barbara saw her navigate the conversation in a really craftful way. And she was like, I want to hire this woman, and ended up working out really well in the organization. So hearing stories like that and how to build a team by putting people in the best position to have success. And as far as, guests who will be on the show, it will be Tim Ferriss, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I believe Emmett Smith's going to be on the show. We've got a lot of really exciting guests coming up, and some who I'm looking forward to interviewing eventually.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. And in fact, you reminded me, one of my favorite episodes lately was just last week, I think, Sean Conlon, when he talked
Yes.
about, fear and focus, and how he's used that to really come from being an assistant janitor that you gave him a promotion in the show, to being now, this self-made real estate mogul millionaire that really just helps people and is committed to giving back and sharing his knowledge. So Congratulations. You have an amazing platform. Thank you for sharing that. I think this story hopefully will help people that are, thinking about podcasting and don't really understand what all goes into it, to do something with it for their business that can make a meaningful difference.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it, Mary.
Take care.